The Advocacy Council.
Good Wednesday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Mostly sunny, pleasant today. The high 70 to 75, light south winds. Mostly clear tonight, about 42 to 48. The sunshine returns for Thursday, the high near 70. It looks like a chance of a few showers Friday and Friday night. There's a weather front coming in. The high Friday, about 60 to 65, north wind 10 to 15. And showers Friday night and Saturday. Educate, entertain, and empower. We're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Russian troops have started deploying at the Turkey-Syria border after a deal agreed with Ankara. The bodies of 39 people have been found dead in the back of a lorry in Essex in Britain. France is open to a technical Brexit extension of several days, but not to any rediscussion of the actual deal, according to its Europe minister. And the signing of an agreement between India and Pakistan to create a fast passage for Sikh pilgrims across the border has been delayed.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Quabila Jones. I hope everyone is having a great start to their Wednesday morning. My special guest today, one of them is running a little behind, but we have Dr. Tamara Glover from the Arkansas State University Social Work Department, and Dr. Patricia Walls will be joining us very soon. So good morning to you, Dr. Glover.
Good morning, Mrs. Jones.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Well, first, I know you've been here before, but for those who may not know you, so go ahead and please give an introduction of yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Tamara Pace Glover, a proud native of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm currently an assistant professor in the social work department, and I'm excited to be here on this morning.
All right, and so I always love these conversations. Today we're going to be talking about the annual Delta Health Disparities Conference, and Dr. Walls always brings some wonderful information. You always book wonderful speakers. I love talking about the students, the presentations they'll be doing, and the displays, because some of them work on their folding board displays, or they work on something related to whatever the conference is centered around. And so for this year, this will be the 7th annual one, and the theme is Mind, Body, and Soul, Holistic Approach to Healthcare in the Delta region. Now, wasn't there a conference in the spring or something?
Yes, we have two conferences a year. Our department puts on two conferences a year, and in the fall is our annual Health Disparities Conference, and in the spring is our annual Spring Social Work Conference.
Okay, now that's what it is. All right, and so this year, it will be held at Arkansas State University in the Student Union, and the date is November 15th, and it starts at 8:30 a.m. up to 4:30 p.m. And usually the way that it's set up is like a registration. Is there an opening for everyone, and then you break off into breakout sessions?
We do have an open preliminary session as well, and then we'll have our breakoff sessions starting at 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so for those who may not be familiar with the term disparity or health disparities, can you give us a breakdown of what that means?
Yes, so first of all, let me say this. Social workers, in order for us to maintain our licensure, we always have to make sure we have those continuing education units. And so with the Social Work Conference, we offer 6 CEU credit hours. We also offer 3, this year we'll be offering 3 ethical hours as well for social workers. It's very important that we maintain good standings with the Arkansas Social Work Board. Okay. And so our department is the only department in the state of Arkansas that does the Health Disparities Conference. And so with this conference, we always bring great minds to the table to kind of discuss some of these important issues that are hindering some of our underserved people in our community. Okay. And so we have a wide range of topics. We talk about women's health, women's issues, some of the health disparities that we're facing now in today's society, HIV and AIDS. We'll have people coming and talking about advocacy and discrimination, service delivery with the populations that we serve. So we have a lot of great speakers that will be coming and discussing some really awesome topics with the individuals in the state. This year, our first preliminary speaker is Dr. Linda Kotler, and she is an associate dean and research professor of epidemiology in the College of Public Health, from Florida.
Okay, and so I'm looking at this information, and I will make sure to post a link in our Facebook Live feed for those who would like to look up more information and to register to go to this event. It's open to the public to attend, but there is a fee associated, and the money goes right back into the social work department.
Absolutely. So there is a fee, and we have different levels. For professionals, it is $85, and so that's anyone who holds credentials in the social work field. Okay. Also, for our field instructors, our ASTATE students, we have we've partnered up with a lot of different organizations and agencies. So our field students do internships, and so we do offer a special rate for those field supervisors, and of course for students, they get a special rate as well. And so we also have vendors. So for example, any organization that's looking forward to promoting their business or their clinic, then they can come and set up shop and also share their information and resources and materials with our students as well. And we also do a silent auction, and our silent auction is really great. We have people from all over the community who donate goods for the cause, and we do a silent auction, but all monies and proceeds that are raised go back into the social work department to help the students with different scholarships and different things of that nature as well.
That is absolutely amazing. Wow. So please go out and support this event and learn something in the process. I love this term, holistic approach. We see and hear and read all kind of articles about people trying to find other ways to approach their health issues, not away from, but in addition to modern medicine. Some people are doing more research on herbs and natural healing and things of that nature, and supplements, and so we know that modern medicine has its place. However, there are some other approaches that can be taken, and so how does you feel that this, I guess, ties into the social work practice and how you all can help your clients understand the holistic approach?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, this year's the theme is mind, body, and soul, holistic health approach to social work practice. And I do believe that, first, let me say this, as social workers, we always operate from a strengths-based perspective. And so no matter what our clients are facing, we want to make sure we can bring out and highlight some of those strengths, because every individual who we serve has something great to offer to the world and to, in general. And so what we do is we want to make sure that as we provide these services, we look at the entire person. We also operate from a systems-based perspective. Okay. And so looking at the entire person, what's all affecting them in their communities. And what we know right now is there are a lot of things, health disparities, that are affecting our clients and the population in which we serve. And so, like I said, we're going to be bringing those issues to the table. And like you said, you talked about being natural. You talked about how we operate from a holistic perspective, and so one of the things is being mindful. When we talk about mind, body, and soul, we like for our just to educate our clients. It's always important to always educate them first before even starting providing any service delivery as well. And that's what these great speakers are going to do on this upcoming November the 15th. They're going to come in. They're going to educate different social workers on different proper practice.
I know one thing that Dr. Walls and I have talked about before is that, some professionals or medical professionals, they only treat the body. However, we are whole people. We operate within our mind, body, and soul, and you have to treat the whole person in order to treat, in order to really get at one or two particular issues, whatever that person is dealing with. If they don't have a change of mind and they don't feel it within their spirit, their soul, and they don't want to change, they don't want to do better, they don't want to eat this or exercise or do this thing, whatever it is, like, you have to treat the whole person.
That's correct. But here's the thing in social work, we always start where the client is.
Okay.
It's important to start where the client is. And here's the beauty about social work. Yes, it takes a lot for an individual to say, you know what, I need some help. And so all of our clients, one of the biggest things with our social work core ethics, our core values, is that we recognize the dignity and worth of all human relationships.
Okay.
That's very important. But in order for a change to exist, there has to be a desire to change.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so a lot of our clients, they're the experts at their lives. Yes, we're the practitioners, but they're the expert at their life. And so we always allow our clients to have a say in the service delivery that we provide. Good morning.
Can you get on the other side, Dr. Walls? Sorry. We're sorry, Dr. Walls just joined us this morning. All right, so Dr. Glover, go ahead.
So that's the biggest thing, is always starting where the client is. And when we get the clients actively involved, it makes for a greater treatment outcome.
Alrighty. So again, this is the 7th annual Health Disparity. Well, I'm sorry, let me go back. The 7th annual Delta Health Disparities Conference, and the theme is Mind, Body, and Soul, Holistic Approach to Healthcare in the Delta region. And so again, this will be November 15th, 2019 from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on the 3rd floor of the Student Union. There will be breakout sessions that will focus on a wide range of topics, including but not limited to ethics, activism, and advocacy, culture, competency, health and mental health, stigma and discrimination as it relates to service delivery and support to for caregivers. I want to touch on each of those different elements. Ethics. And no matter what profession you go in, you will receive some type of ethics discussion, training, something. And I know in social work it is vital to adhere to strict ethical policy. Please help me out with that. How you label that?
Did you say ethical policy? What did you say?
I don't know what I want to say. I don't know if I'm saying it
That
right.
would-
Ethical dilemmas. Go
Okay.
ahead, Dr.
Yeah,
Walls.
that would, I mean, it encompasses everything. When we talk about ethics in this profession, we refer to our code of ethics really as the Bible. It is one of the most comprehensive documents that is out there in reference to the code of ethics when you look at social work as opposed to other mental health degrees and practice. So everything that we teach our students from the time that they enter our program until the time that they graduate, we're going to bring them back to the code of ethics. Because one of the main things in social work, we say that we start where the client is. Okay. In order for us to be able to start where the client is, we really have to examine that person in the environment and all of the good and the bad that they bring into that professional relationship.
Alrighty. All right, so another aspect is, I lost my place, activism and advocacy. Individuals, depending on, especially those in that Delta region, they need someone that can stand up and be a voice for them, be that go-between for medical help or for whatever other services they are seeking. Oftentimes they just don't know how to access the information, and they need someone on their side to say, okay, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to be your voice, and I'm going to, even if it's, I know this is probably far-fetched, but when it comes to legislation to help people, I mean, social workers expand the gamut. Like, you all are everywhere. You do everything possible to help your clients and patients in every aspect of their life. So would you all please touch on that?
I would be glad to touch on that. Policy is my baby.
That is her baby.
It is my baby, and I love it. And I want to go back and just tell you that you are not far-fetched when you talk about legislative. It is one of the things that we do with our students when the legislator is meeting. I prepare my students to actually go to Little Rock, go to the Capitol. We monitor the different policies that are being voted on, and we take our voice there. and advocate for those policies. I think that the advocacy work is some of the most important work that we can do as social workers, because when we can change things on a broader level, then there's a larger ripple effect. And so last year our students went to the legislative session and they were having what they call annual poster day. And we were very, very proud of our students because they won first place of all of the other social work schools in the state. They won first place. And they were talking about their topic had to do with incarceration, and they were saying legislate instead of incarcerate. In other words, let's find some ways in which we can keep people in the community and work with them in becoming productive citizens rather than putting them into jail all of the time. And so that is a very large part of what we do. And we're very proud that we are working with our students to train them in those areas.
Okay. All right. Cultural competency. We can twist it on that word, but being aware of other people's cultures and what they need versus what we, the service worker, think they need. So.
Well, it's very important for social workers to be culturally competent. We like to also say, in addition, being culturally sensitive. You can have two clients from the same background, same makeup, but yet you still have to be sensitive to their cultural needs. Because, like, for example, all three of us are African American women, and if we ever needed to receive service, it would still need to be individualized. Being aware of a person's culture is vital and important because for example, with some cultures and certain religious beliefs, they practice in a certain way, and if we're not careful, we will actually do more harm than good. And so it's very important to be culturally sensitive. So, for example, when we talk about, let's talk about maybe Muslims or certain religions, it's inappropriate to shake hands with the opposite gender, with the opposite sex. Where if you go out and stick your hand out when you want to shake their hand, they find it offensive. So just being aware of small things, even for example, making eye contact with certain individuals, that could be seen or offensive. And in our culture, for example, if you're providing service to an older adult, not saying ma'am, yes sir, no ma'am, those small things, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. And at every conference that we attend, and Dr. Walls can attest to this, there's going to be some session that's going to deal with being culturally competent. And also being competent is being able to practice within your scope of practice. The moment you step outside of your scope of practice, then you become incompetent, and the last thing we want to do is be incompetent social workers. We always want to put forth best practice, and that goes again with being an ethical social worker as well.
So it all just ties right in, everything ties right in together.
That's true.
Absolutely. And I would only add to what Dr. Glover has said is that the sensitivity part of becoming culturally competent. That, I mean, you could be sensitive and not yet be competent, because there are four main areas in the whole scope of becoming culturally competent. But if you are sensitive, then that's within that first realm of it. It's just being aware that what that person is bringing to the table, it is not something that a good social worker or that a competent social worker would overlook, but you would be aware of those differences, and as such, you would try to meet the client where they are. I mean, 'cause that's what we pride ourselves on, meeting the client where they are, person in the environment. So that means that I have to consider the total person if I'm going to provide what we strive for our students to do, and that is best practice. And so you cannot do that without at least working. I always say cultural competency is a work in progress, because it is so much to know. The more I know about it, the more I realize that I need to know something else about it, because the world is constantly evolving.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. I want to say good morning to a few people. Dr. Sharice Jones-Branch says, good morning, Queens. She said,
Good morning to my sister.
Said, I am so proud to know you too. Good morning, Ashara Barber, Mr. Frank Posinski, Miss Chelsea Chapman, and Miss Melissa Jackson holding it down in the Advising Center. Thank you all so very much for checking in. All right, and so the other portion of what you all will be discussing, well, another aspect of the conference, health and mental health, and I want to tie that into the other stigma and discrimination. Okay. There's so much stigma and discrimination that goes into someone who admits, I have a mental health issue, and then people are so reluctant to open up at times because, again, of the stigma and discrimination. It's almost as if because you admit I'm broken in some way, I'm cracked, I'm just useless, Society has a way of making you feel that way sometimes. So can you all touch on that aspect?
Yeah, but I like to, with the clients that I work with and have worked with in the past, I like for them, I find it that they either have on one or two lenses, either a positive lens or a negative lens. And we have to understand as just everyday lay people that if I've been dealt a bad hand and I'm faced with, I've seen so much and have been exposed to a psychological toxic environment day after day after day, how can I see the world in a positive place? And so our objective, like I stated earlier, is that no matter what the client has been exposed to, we try to find some strengths for them to hold on to and try to help them to see life in a different way, to get them to functioning at their optimal level. But there are a lot of people who suffer in silence. And here's the thing about mental health, is that everything can be going perfectly fine on Monday and Tuesday, and then something in your life can happen and all hell breaks loose, and then you're at your lowest of the low on Friday. So it's no respecter of persons, but we always like to tell people that there are signs to look out for, warning signs, especially when you feel like you're about to, face with some depression, because that's a really big thing. You can't look at a person and tell whether or not they're suffering from depression. And so we always like to encourage people to make sure you go and talk to a professional to get some help so that you don't have to deal with it alone. And like I said, a lot of people are suffering in silence, but they don't have to, which is the beauty about social work, is that we do not judge the clients that we work with. A lot of people don't want to go because of the stigma as well.
We're going to put a pause right there, and we're getting ready for our first break. When we come back, we'll definitely pick up our conversation. We were speaking with Dr. Patricia Guy Walls and Dr. Tamara Pace Glover from the Arkansas State University Social Work Department, discussing the 7th annual Delta Health Disparities Conference. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you know what makes a good parent? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Do you remember leaving the hospital with your first child? You might have thought, what do I do now? As you've continued your parenting journey, you may have also thought, am I even doing this right? Well, there's no instruction manual that comes with our kids. There's no scientific checkup to determine if you're being a good parent. But there are some things to consider. First, check where you're spending your time. Is your calendar filled with things to do with your kids? Second, how are you disciplining your children? Calmly and gently with authority, or yelling and screaming in chaos? For more on being a good parent, listen to my new podcast at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com. Starks Auto Plaza at 2829 Red Wolf Boulevard is a proud KLEK supporter, offering luxury pre-owned vehicles sold wholesale to the public. At Starks, we never say no. 870-203-9980. Details at starksautoplaza.com. Anointed Prelude, 1216 East Johnson Avenue, serves the Jonesboro community inspired by Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. They offer brake service, oil changes, tire plugs, basic tune-ups, wiper blade changes, bulb changes, and coolant system flushes. Open Monday, Thursday, and Friday 8 to 5, Tuesday and Wednesday 8 to 4, and Saturday 8 to 2. For more information, 870-520-5039.
The Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was established on June 28, 1997 by 13 dynamic women who accepted the challenge of chartering the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter. Today, the chapter continues to impact the Jonesboro community by sponsoring programs such as the Sonia D. Williams Scholarship Breakfast, Community Back to School Bash, Delta Academy, Voter Registration Drive, and Autism Awareness. Our focus correlates with the national theme, joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. Our chapter supports Delta's 5-point programmatic thrust: economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. More information about the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is available at www.jonesboroalumnidst.org or via email jonesboroalumni@live.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are Dr. Patricia Guy-Walls and Dr. Tamara Pace-Glover, from the Arkansas State University Social Work Department. And we are discussing the 7th Annual Delta Health Disparities Conference. The theme for this year is Mind, Body, and Soul, Holistic Approach to Healthcare in the Delta region. So we're going to continue on with our conversation, and we're going to discuss a little bit more the keynote speaker for this year.
So this year's keynote speaker is Dr. Linda B. Kotler, and she is an Associate Dean for Research at the College of Public Health and Health Professions. She is a professor in the Department of Epidemiology and at the College of Public Health and Health Professions, as well as the College of Medicine at the University of Florida. She is involved in studies in several major areas in public health. These include the development of culturally reliable and valid measures for identifying substance use, abuse, and dependencies, as well as psychiatric disorders and their risk factors. She is also a strong advocate for street health as well.
Okay, and if you would like to learn a little bit more about her, I looked her up. You can go to the University Department of Epidemiology at the University of Florida, florida.edu. So you can find more information about her. She has an extensive background. There's a lot of stuff listed here. She's chaired several committees and departments and different things. And so please go look her up so you can be more prepared and more informed of who she is and what she brings to the table. And one thing I can say about the social work department, you all do not half-step when it comes to the speakers that you bring to your conferences. You make sure to bring someone who has done so much in their communities and the universities or wherever field they work in, so that they bring a wealth of knowledge with them, so the students do not leave empty-handed. Anyone who attends does not leave empty-handed.
And that is not by happenstance. We plan and work very, very hard at looking for people that are at the top of their game for this particular conference, because this conference was developed out of a labor of love for us looking at those illness and those diseases that are common in the Delta area, so that we could provide our students as well as those who attend the conference a wealth of knowledge to go back to their community and begin the work, if they have not started the work, to continue to work with a different skill set if they have already began the work.
I know, Dr. Walls, you and I have talked about, oftentimes people in the Delta region get, mislabeled or deemed to be, I hate to use the word, ignorant. They're just ignorant of the knowledge. They're not ignorant, in intelligence. They just, at times, don't have access or don't know how to access what's available. I know there have been some advancements in, telemedicine and other ways that medical professionals are reaching their patients. They're, taking it on the road. They're getting mobile units and taking their services to the patients. Do you all have conversations with the health professional students or departments and see, kind of stay on top of what's being done now?
We are indeed, and all of what you are saying was, it has a great deal to do with the type of speakers that we bring into this conference, and that stigma is still there in reference to the Delta, but I proudly tell people all the time, I am a daughter of the Delta, and that's why I am so passionate about the work, and part of that passion was what led us to the development of this conference. We have some diseases that are occurring in the Delta, and they are very high risk, and they are high risk because of lack of knowledge, lack of services in very impoverished areas. So anything that we can do to try and impact that in any way, that is what we are trying to do through this conference. Bring attention to those diseases that are in our area, and to try to get people involved in volunteering and doing something. We do have a Delta Health Care Caravan that is co-sponsored through the medical school that is on our campus, and they are actually going out into some of the rural communities, doing assessment and trying to figure out what can we do, not just as the medical school or as the social work department, but as the university as a whole. So we do have our ears and our heart to the ground, and we are trying to work. We are trying to work on those areas and those needs as we see them.
Okay. That's amazing. So again, we want everyone out there that's listening, especially if you are a student or a professional, please come out and register for this event. So let's go ahead and go through the prices again for the different levels.
So for professionals, it is $85. And also for our speakers, we have a discounted rate for them as well, which is $50. For field instructors and field supervisors, it is a discounted rate of $50 as well. And for our students, it's only $25. I will say this, I'm on the NASW social work board for the Arkansas chapter, and by all means, we make it so our price is so reasonable for people to attend, because we know the importance, again, of being in compliance with the Arkansas social work board. And so we want to strongly encourage people to truly register for this conference. It's going to be great. We have a list of our speakers as well. Our preliminary session, which is what you asked about earlier, it starts at 8:45. And again, we've already mentioned Dr. Kotler, but we also have our breakout sessions. We have topics on anorexic nervosa. We have Miss Deborah Everwine and Sever Everwine, who will be speaking on that topic. Also, we have Dr. Thomas, who will be talking about the homeless women and veterans, her voice, her story. We also have Leah Short and Jonathan Howland, who will be talking about innovation and technology in rural social work. Very interesting as well. We also have Mr. Scott Burcham, who will be talking about the biopsychosocial model applied to the brain health for current times. Mr. Robert Meeks, who will be doing a session on logotherapy, ethics and values, a meaning-based approach to psychotherapy. In addition to that, we have Miss Ebony Wilson, who will be talking about the different triggers of the mind, dealing with the opioid addiction. Miss Megan Brown, who's the co-founder of Hope Found of Northeast Arkansas, who will be dealing with human trafficking.
Okay.
Mr. Christopher Russell, who is one of our students, who will be dealing with integrating faith with the LGBTQIA clients, an introduction to queer theologian and spirituality, along with Pastor Elijah Walker.
Okay.
And we also have Mrs. Monique Battles, who will be doing a presentation for ACEs and implications for ACEs in the Delta region. And then our last session will deal with a panel discussion. And we have several individuals who will be on the panel discussion, and they'll be dealing with the theme Mind, Body, and Soul, Holistic Approach to Healthcare in the Delta region, which will be Miss Peggy Robinson Wright, who is the Director of Delta Studies, the Delta Studies Center, and also Dr. Larry Morton, who is the chair of our social work department, Mr. Ian Tucker, Miss Heather Eberwine, and Mr. Leo Glover, who is with Fulfill Life Counseling.
You don't have a powerhouse of people.
And may I add one thing? We will have a forum for student poster sessions that will be represented at this conference as well, and the student posters will be focusing on diseases that are in the Delta region. So we have a full day for a phenomenal prize. So we really are going to tell you to tell a friend to tell a friend to please get registered for this conference. It's going to be a wealth of information, just common basic information that you can take back and use daily. And especially for mental health, I would dare say, to piggyback on what Dr. Glover said, this is one of the most inexpensive conferences that you can attend for the number of CEUs that you will walk away with.
So remind me again.
And so they will have 6. They will have an opportunity to acquire 6 CEUs at this conference. And registration includes lunch, too.
Registration includes lunch and
$85. Come on, y'all.
In addition to being able to receive hours for ethics, it's so important for social workers to receive those ethics CEUs as well. And
so look, please come out. Please register. I mean, this should be a no-brainer. And then for students, I don't know why they would pass up on meeting all these wonderful speakers and these people that have this knowledge and experience in the field.
Well, I might be a little bit biased in saying this, but we have some incredible students that attend Arkansas State University, and actually a lot of our students, all of our students in the social work program have already just about registered for the conference, outside of those that will be doing the poster presentations. But we also encourage students in other departments and disciplines to register as well. In addition to not only it being a reasonably priced, but again, we have that silent auction that I mentioned earlier. And again, a lot of all of the proceeds go back into our department to help us to fund different activities and different scholarships as well. So it is very important, and we're really excited.
That's amazing. And I think it's very vital for other, like you said, other disciplines to attend the conference, because you never know if you will encounter a social worker or you will have a patient client that you will be working together on, and so you need to be able to communicate with each other on how to best serve that person. So
that's right.
Yes, every discipline needs to attend.
Absolutely. That's where that thing come from, mind, body, and soul, because we truly do get that there is a interconnection
that's right.
between the three.
That's
right. and I keep going back to, I know, I apologize, Dr. Glover, but Dr. Walls and I, how many conferences have we discussed? Like 2, maybe 3?
More. I think more than 3. More than 3.
And I always reflect on, we always talk about treating the whole person. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So for those that may have joined late, want to say good morning, Miss Megan Brown is checking in, and then Tamara Mathis, thank you for checking in. So those that are, just joining us, can you go ahead and recap on the mind, body, and soul aspect of?
Okay, as social workers, and I tell people I've had many titles, but the one that I always come back to is that I am a social worker. Okay. And with that being said, we always say that when we are treating, and it doesn't matter what arena that we're in, whether I'm talking about policy or whatever, I got to start where the person is, okay? Person in that environment. That's right. So how can I do that if I'm not taking a look at and I'm not examining the total person? So when we are working, we're looking at the mind. What's going on with that? That's part of the body, okay? And I can't look at the mind and body without looking at the inner person. That's right. And that's the soul. And so what we are looking is to try and do that inner connection of whatever the issue may be, whatever the problem may be. When we tackle it, we're going to consider all 3 parts because they are all related into that one being.
Okay. And then that goes back to the term you used. I wrote it down so I won't forget it. Biopsychosocial.
Yeah, we're having a presentation on that. Yes, we are.
Well, and so then Dr. Tamara and I talked about the holistic approach and how there are some people that want to, in addition to I want to say Western modern medicine, they're receiving treatments, they want to find other natural. And I say natural. When we think holistic, okay, let me stop talking. Can you all please break down, from a social work perspective, what holistic means?
Again, I'm going to go back to, like if I got a pie and I take one slice out of it, I have just taken one piece. But if I eat the whole pie, I have done the whole thing. Okay, so when we're working with clients, we are doing it maybe in slices, okay? Because I got the first interview, assess, figure out what's in the mind and stuff. But as I gather that information, there's going to be cues along the line that is going to show me other things. Okay. So and if we're going to do our best work, and what we're trying to do and what we pride ourselves on is turning out not just social workers, but we're trying to turn out good social workers. Competent social workers, so that they know that it's more than one part, that I got to look at all of the parts. And that's why a lot of time we give them all of these theories. We're talking about system. And so there's different parts, and we're going to be trying to examine each of those parts. And that's what this year's conference is about. When we say mind, body, and soul, we're looking at the total person. We're looking through the lens, through the holistic lens, so that we can try to capture all parts of that individual.
And you're not just treating them with one method.
No, it's not just with one method. We utilize several interventions and techniques to make sure we provide a wide range of services, and it's truly based off of what the client actually needs, as Dr. Walls has stated before. And the biggest thing, and I always talk to my students, we want to educate first. We educate, then we advocate, then we facilitate, and then we intervene, which is so important and vital to the client's outcomes, which is why we allow our clients it's more of a team effort, because when you work collectively with your clients and you establish that therapeutic rapport, then you get the desired outcome that both you all want. And we always follow Maslow's hierarchy. You cannot come in and try to educate a client or work with a client and expect them to share all of their intimate secrets and business with you, especially if they're suffering with a mental health issue and then they don't have a place to stay. So we start at ground zero, making sure that they are taken care of at ground zero so that we can build our way up to provide them the other necessary resources that they need.
That's that holistic.
Can y'all please spread this message to everyone? Like, I know I'm in a different position. I'm not homeless. You know, I am somewhat educated, but there's still, every one of us at some point in our life, we need information about something else. And sometimes people that provide certain services will look at you without knowing you and make assumptions and then try to approach you from that angle.
Well, that's the beauty about social work, though. As social workers, we operate from a non-judgmental stance. And every great social worker will do their research and want to know as much as they can about a client before they actually see their client. However, a true competent social worker is still going to do his or her research, but at the same time, when they meet that client, it'll be just like they don't know anything about that client. You allow that person or that individual to share their story. And I always piggyback off of the movie Antoine Fisher. Antoine Fisher, he had anger issues and several mental health issues, and Denzel Washington was his basic, for lack of better words, he was his social worker. However, he was in compliance and did not want to participate. But what Denzel Washington did in the movie that was so beautiful is that he allowed Antoine to share at his own pace and at his own time. And when you allow a client to share at their own pace and at their own time, you let them lead, then you will get the desired outcome that we all are working for, because the goal is not for us to dictate. We foster clients' right to self-determination. And what that means is that, yes, I may be the expert, Dr. Wall is the expert, but at the end of the day, that client is the expert at their life, and we want them to get better and for them to start making better choices. But it comes when they have a desire to change. So we give them the options, but we don't make them choose.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Again, can you teach that?
Sign them up for social work. Sign them up for social work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because that truly is starting where the client is. You know, you can't know more about me than I know about me.
That's right.
I don't care what your degrees are.
Okay.
Now you can listen, okay? If you are good at what you are doing, then you listen. And what we try to teach our students is that during the listening process, I need you listening with more than your ears. Because if you're just listening with that, you're going to miss some stuff. So I need you listening with your eyes in every part of you, because we are all constantly talking. Whether our mouth is open or not, we are constantly communicating.
That's right. We're going to put another pin right there, take another quick break. I am really enjoying this conversation. Thank you to everyone else who's checking in. Good morning, Mr. T.R. Hamilton. But please do not go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our discussion and give you the date, time, location, and fees again so that you can make plans to attend this conference. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. If there was ever a time to engage in financial planning, choosing to become a parent is it. First, think beyond your baby's due date to get an idea of the annual cost of raising your child. Use tools offered by organizations like the USDA to get an estimate of the incremental cost of parenthood in various categories, such as housing, clothing, and transportation, and then create a budget reflecting these costs. Also, budget what insurance coverages you'll need. Be sure to do your research, starting with healthcare coverage, to make sure your child is covered on your policy from his or her due date of birth. Life insurance will ensure that your child is provided for if you or your spouse or partner dies. Lastly, disability insurance will help to cover the loss of income in the event of an illness or accident that prevents you from working and providing for your family. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Help keep KLEK on the air. Give now through our fall fund drive. We are seeking 100 donors to give at least $20 per month, but we are happy with any gift, large or small. Come by our studio at 1411 Franklin Street in Jonesboro. Call us at 870-277-1080 or visit our website, klekfm.org, or you can use Cash App, $KLEKFM, or text KLEK1. Send it to 44321.
House of Details, located at 3915 East Highland in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, waxing, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more, with the motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to our last segment of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests are Dr. Patricia Guy Walls and Dr. Tamara Pace Glover from the Arkansas State University Social Work Department. We have been discussing, the 7th Annual Delta Health Disparities Conference. The theme is Mind, Body, and Soul, Holistic Approach to Healthcare in the Delta Region. So let's go ahead and run through date, time, location, fees, and touch on some of the topics that will be presented that day.
Okay, so our 7th Annual Health Disparities Conference will be Friday, November the 15th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and the registration begins at 8 o'clock. However, you can pre-register now. We are available at the asu.edu Marketplace Mall, and all you have to do is search for Health Disparities Conference. Okay. In addition to that, we have some wonderful speakers who are lined up. I also will say this, that social workers can earn up to 6 CEUs, which is 6 continuing education units that we all need to make sure when we renew our license. In addition to that, we have great speakers. Our keynote speaker is, again, Dr. Linda Kotler. We have topics ranging from the homeless veterans. We also have homeless women veterans, ethics. We also have topics discussing the triggers of the mind. In addition to human trafficking, we have a wide range of topics that will be very beneficial as it relates to the different health disparities that people are facing in the Delta region. And so we want to strongly encourage everybody to come out. We guarantee you that you will be educated and filled with a lot of best practice for social work, in regards to social work.
And you get all of this for a small fee, professional people for $85. That includes a continental breakfast, a snack, and lunch.
That's right.
It cannot be beat. We look forward to your registration. We would also have a silent auction. Student poster presentation form will also be available. We still have slots for any business that may be out there that would like to set up a table and advertise your business. We still have slots for that. So we strongly encourage you. This is not just the social work department conference, this is the community conference.
Right.
And so we're going to encourage the community to get behind us in this conference. We have some outstanding speakers. Our keynote speaker for the morning, again, is Dr. Linda Kotler. She is a heavyweight. You will miss a treat if you are not there to hear what she has to offer.
All right, so again, please go out, make plans to go to this conference, and then you get to interact with the students as well that are going to be putting on display what they're learning.
That's
and,
right.
So they will be doing posters.
Poster presentations over issues and health issues in the Delta region that affect the Delta region. And I must admit, we have some of the best and brightest minds that are attending Arkansas State University, especially in the social work department.
Second that.
Because they have some of the most amazing professors. I know Dr. Wallace tried to recruit me for the longest, but sorry. I just don't think I could make it in social work. I love the field. I mean, I love the information. I just don't know if I would have made it in the field. But anyway.
You would have been great in the field. It takes a special individual to choose this field. I tell my students all the time while I'm educating them, while social work is very rewarding, it is not without its challenges. However, for every challenge that I've had 10 to 15 rewards. It's nothing like seeing your client or your students make it from point A to point B, especially when you're out in the field rendering direct practice and you can put forth best practice and be culturally sound in your in your interventions as you're working with those clients and your service delivery. It makes for a world of difference when you make a major impact as a change agent. So it's beautiful.
And I'm sure it's very rewarding when you get to celebrate those victories with your client.
Absolutely.
And they're happy to share, the things they have accomplished because of your help.
It is amazing.
And then for the students, I know Dr. Wallace, you talked about sometimes your students get a little mad, they turn their face up at you, but at the end of the day, when they graduate, they come back and say thank you.
They do. They do. They email me. I didn't get it then, but I got it now. Thank you. So.
All right. So, and Arlen has 2 minutes. Any final words? Anything about the social work department? How was the event you all co-hosted?
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. The social work department, along with Power 1 and 2, we hosted probably our 4th or 5th fall fest on Saturday at Parker Park. It was simply amazing. For all of our sponsors who participated in that, we just so graciously thank you. First Baptist was on hand, and Adrian Edrick, let me please send a shout out to him. He was simply amazing, just on hands on deck, and we had the help of so many people, and the children had a great day. We will be hosting another Spring Fest in the spring, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, Dr. Cameron, we got a minute left.
Oh, no final words. I've said everything. Please attend the conference this year. Register. It's again November the 15th. It'll be the greatest choice and the greatest Friday that you've had thus far. So please come.
All right. Well, we thank you so very much for joining us, and thank you for the wonderful conversation. I always learn so much, and I'm always more inspired. So hopefully everyone out there listening was inspired as well and would take what they've learned here and apply to their field, no matter where you work, and learn how to be more compassionate with other people and understand where they're coming from before you try to approach them with your biases.
That's right. And we do a lot of interdisciplinary teamwork as well in the community. So we're thankful for being able to collaborate with other disciplines.
That's wonderful. All right, one quick reminder, KLEK is hosting a chili cook-off November 1st. So registration ends on October 29th, $10 to enter, $3 to taste. Please check our Facebook page and website for more information. This is, I guess you say, hosted by Brother Cobbs, but this is one of his projects, so please support him on that. Everyone have a great and blessed day. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views